I always felt kind of an outsider in many ways. In general, I it was hard for me to fit in. And I remember feeling like I don't belong here, but in a weird way, I do belong here. Like, this is my people.
Are you a single, shy nerd struggling to find a player too? If you're still trying to figure out the skills you need, here's a tutorial to get to the next level. Learn from experts and fellow nerds who found their partners, the mistakes they made, and how they still ended up together, with no cheat codes. I'm Alex Goldstein, and this is the Roll Today podcast. Hey everyone, I'd like to welcome again Jose. This time, I want to talk about where we met. There's another talk like this with Veer. This is the Jose that Veer talks about in that interview. So if you haven't checked that out, I suggest you go there afterwards. The reason that I want to talk about where we met is because quite often people say like, oh, I can't find anyone to date. I don't know where to find people to date. And they may say, oh, I don't like bars. I don't like clubs. I don't drink. Personally, I don't drink. And where else can I meet people, right? And often my response is just decide on a few hobbies, a few interests that you have or that you think you might enjoy, and find groups that meet regularly that do that. Now, the catch is that, yes, you're going there because you want to find someone to date, but you should go there with the mindset of just meeting people, making friends, expanding your network, because most likely you're going to find someone that you like and that you maybe even can date within that network. It might not be right inside that group, but it could be a friend of someone that you met there, right? And so I want to talk with Jose about her experience within the Tolkien Association, which is where we met. Just for reference, the Tolkien Association is, I describe it as a fan club on steroids. So the goal of the association was to promote the work of Tolkien, Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit. This was way before the movies came out. So Jose, in your case, we already heard from Veer why she joined. In your case, why did you join the association and the forum, right? Because you also joined the forum as well.
Well, I think back then I started with Harry Potter. I think a friend told me like, okay, if you like Harry Potter, I will tell you about some websites you can check. I was searching for Harry Potter, we didn't have all the books yet. So it was like nice to try to find some things that the author said and everything, and like more information. And for Tolkien, I think it was kind of the same, checking on like theories about certain characters or finding out like the like other books that maybe I didn't know about or things like that, like started with information. And the thing was that the forums at first were a lot about like the books, mainly the ATA forum.
ATA is Argentine Tolkien Association, by the way.
Yeah. Was a lot about like, what do you think about this character? What happened here? What happened there? And it was a lot like about like the books.
Who is Tom
and all of
Bombadil?
them. Yeah. Always.
The question
Always
that got
the same thing. Yeah.
The question that got banned from the forum.
Yeah. It was like, just go and check on the old post.
Yes.
And I even think that when I joined the forum, at first I was going to the ATA meetings that they were like the official meetings that were once a month. And I remember I went and it was very it wasn't like around the literature and all that. It was, let's talk about, someone made a presentation about some characters or something. It was in a funny way. It wasn't like a serious thing, but it was all about this. And I remember like looking around and I was like, it was full of darkies. And you were one of them. Yep.
Darkies would be goths, which...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember feeling like the feeling of I don't belong here, but in a weird way, I do belong here. Like, this is my people. I always felt kind of an outsider in many ways. Before that, I mean, speaking not everywhere. I mean, I had very close friends, but in general, it was hard for me to fit in with, let's say, like the families that were friends of my family, like my large group at the school. Like, I didn't fit with everyone that easy. And even the kind of humor that I found there was like, okay, I like it. This is my thing. So I started, and they were like, okay, this is the association, and there's also the forum, but the forum is like different. There were other meetings that were from the forum people. And the thing is that these forum meetings were like at bars and not in a
cultural center.
Yeah. And it wasn't a cultural thing. It wasn't about the author and all that. It was more about like, hey, we all really like each other. Let's just grab a beer all together. And the people was way less serious about the topics. I mean, I remember there were like two kind of people. The association people was like, let's not like profanate Tolkien's name. Let's be serious about this. It's a big deal. And at the forum, it was way more relaxed, and everyone could make fun of everything. And it was pretty, like, I mean, in a respectful way. I'm not sure if it was respectful.
I don't
It
think
wasn't
so. uncomfortable.
No, but it was okay.
In my case, like, yes, it was like kind of like, oh, I'm gonna meet people that I only know online, and what's gonna happen. But it was interesting because like we had already been talking for a while with everyone, right? And I know that this still happens with online communities, like even with Discord nowadays, where people will just refer to each other by their nicknames, right? And that's what we were doing, because like many people, I still don't know their real names because I don't care. I call them how I call them, and that's it.
The thing is, and you were 14.
Yeah.
I was 16, and we were the youngest ones. I remember everyone was like 23 and up.
Yeah.
Mainly, they were like a 22, 23-year-old. They were the most of them. But we were really young. We were like the pets of that
mascots.
team. Yeah, exactly, mascot. It was like a different dynamic, I think.
But we still all got along.
Yes, exactly. That was something that was amazing to me. Everyone was really open because we all knew each other from like the same circle. We all like kind of talked beforehand. Everyone was really excited when someone new arrived. And everyone was like, hey, everyone, this is nickname. And they will introduce each other. And maybe someone was a little more not so welcoming here and there. And there were some people that were like, okay, we were the first ones here, but most of them were really nice. And everyone was welcome.
I always got the feeling that we were all misfits. Like you said before, like we didn't really fit in many places, and suddenly we all found a place where we did fit.
Yeah.
Right. And that kind of like, that made us feel more connected to each other.
Yeah. I talked about this, with you before. This is not a new conversation for us. I've also talked to this to Brujo, nickname. I still call him by his nickname.
I don't know his real name.
Really?
I mean,
okay, I'll tell you about offline because he wouldn't like this to be revealed.
No. Like I have it written somewhere because I need to send him the package a while back, but I erased it. Like, to me, he's Brujo. Brujo means warlock. Like, I don't know his name.
No, and the thing is, we talked a lot about this, and I think that there was something, and this has to do with something I was telling you earlier. That's like, what does it mean when we talk about like this like nerdy community? What does it mean to be like nerd? What does what's supposed to be? Why did we all met there, and find like this belonging, and why that didn't happen with like outside there? What's the factor that what's there's something there that has to do not only with like what your interests or your grades or anything. And I think that sometimes like there's this image, like popular image about what it's supposed to be a nerd, like in the movies and everything, that kind of ruins everything. Because at some point you don't want, it's like something that's bad, that's it's rejected. um I don't know, it's awful. I mean, and I don't like labels, but I do think that there are many ways of understanding or processing the world, and relating to the world. And there are many different ways. It's like the neurodiversity, let's say. uh, and in all that, like it's like a huge rainbow of way of doing things. And I think there's something around that. There's something in common, and you have to find where you belong. And I guess that happens, it depends on where you grew up and which people you were around when you were young. Some people find it earlier, and some of us, we had to find it later in life, and you have to make like an effort.
And some people fit the, let's say, majority, and
Yes,
some
exactly.
people like us, we don't.
Yeah.
Now you're saying about like different people, so every time I mentioned that I was a paying member of the Tolkien Association for like 7 years, they're like, oh, that's so nerdy. I'm like, yeah, that's like my nerd card. Like I say with pride,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. And to me, it's very funny because, like we were saying before, the association people had a specific vibe. I remember going to, like you were saying, at the meetups, at the association meetups, you have a talk of some kind, which the one that you remember was funny. The ones that I remember was quite like monotone and serious and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything about anything. I just
Yeah.
read stuff or watch stuff. And so when I went to the meetups, I would skip the talk because one day I was like, okay, I'm just going to stay here until this thing finishes, and then I'm going to start socializing and meeting people, which is what I want to do. And then one time I realized that I heard voices outside in the hallway, and I realized, oh, some people come to the meetup and don't stick and don't sit for the talk. So I just started doing that. And every time I went to the meetup, I would just skip the talk and go straight to the hallway. And usually those were the forum people, but that's a different story. And meanwhile, the forum people, they were, like you said, meeting at bars and super extroverted and going out. And we would meet at like maybe 7 or 8 p.m., I think. We would have dinner. And then I would come back home at like 8 a.m. usually.
Yes.
And buy my parents some pastries for breakfast, then have breakfast with them and then go to sleep. And that's not the normal image that you have of like nerds, right?
No.
My other group of misfits was a different forum, which was a goth forum, right? And we would like discuss goth music and talk about Poe and Lovecraft and whatnot. And that was also a completely different vibe. I kept those worlds quite separate for a very long time. But again, I found my people in different places at different times. They were still my people.
Yeah.
Right.
The thing, I don't think that everyone at the forum meetings were extroverts.
No.
I think some of them might have been. I mean, usually they were.
I would say most of us weren't.
Yes, exactly. And that was nice. And of course, there's always someone who's like the glue of the group. Well, actually, when I met people from other forums, the people I'm still in touch with, they're from that first forum because it was kind of more my kind of people. And I don't think I went there to socialize at first. I mean, not to the ATA meetings. I was actually interested in the topics. I went there for the talks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I wanted to do. And then I realized there was all this like super nice people, and something I was amazed because usually at school, for example, I had my school friends. Besides beer, we have more friends. They are all really smart ladies and they have careers and they are amazing people, but they are not nerdy, not in this way. And for the rest of the class, I was like, I like to read fantasy. I use proper vocabulary for saying things. I was like, I remember this feeling of being heard and being valuable that I never had outside, and people at the other actually valued what I was putting there. You know, they saw me, they saw who I was, and they thought I was. I remember I once said I was super sweet, but I use it like all the time to describe absolutely everything, and they made fun of me in a really kind way. And it wasn't something, it's like the things that used to be like the weird thing, the thing that everyone rejected me for, they were really valuable there.
Yeah.
And I think it's really nice because then from there, when I got to the university, when I moved countries, now I realized that that's something I learned there. That's like, this is the kind of people I want to be with. The people that actually think that these things that are core values for me, or that are like things that I cannot change about myself, this is who I am, and this is what they value. It's not something that they're okay with it. I mean, my most intimate circle, it's people that actually value what I value about myself.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you go.
Okay.
Because we've been talking for a while now, and this is a very different conversation than what I had with Ver, which is great. It's also why I didn't want to.
I really want to listen to that.
You will. Don't worry. I'm sure everyone else has or they can by now.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much, and everybody take care. Do you want a cheat code to level up? Listening to more episodes will help you learn the skills faster. So make sure you follow the show.